Hello all, welcome back to Kalam IAS Academy. This is Priyanka Mahapatra, faculty at Kalam IAS for Essay. So today we'll be taking up topic 2 of this year UPSC Essay Paper, and the topic is the empires of the future will be the empires of the mind. So coming to this particular quotation, who gave it and in what context? This quote can be attributed to the political scientist Alvin Toffler. And he popularized this idea in his book Future Shock, which was published in the year 1970. And the year 1970, can you imagine how the world was going through a rapid transformation? Why? Because of the various technological advancements, because of the social changes there. That is why he argued that the traditional notions of power, the traditional sources of power like military might, territorial control, they are becoming less relevant. They are becoming less relevant. So here we are discussing a shift in the nature of power. Shift in the nature of power as in traditionally, yes, empires were defined by their military strength, by their military might, okay, territorial conquest, but in the modern era they are being defined more by the intellectual and technological capabilities. Intellectual and technological capabilities are becoming more dominant now, and they are becoming the hallmarks of global power. So with this understanding of the topic, you will generate your dimensions for this particular topic. First, you will explore the why aspect, that why at all this shift in the nature of power. Then you will explore how it has been happening. This is the core demand of the essay. So this first and second dimension are the core demand of the essay you should be writing. First is the why aspect, the underlying philosophy, underlying reasons behind it, and how it has been occurring, how the empires of the mind are governing the empires of the future. How will the empires of the mind, for that matter, intellectual, technological, and creative dominance will shape the empires of the future? How is the power of knowledge and ideas becoming more influential than the physical or territorial control? Okay, you will give your various arguments and examples under it. Then you will come to the counter argument by thinking of a critical dimension over here. So don't you think there is a critical dimension? Because for every topic, no any topic in this world can be absolutely correct. You can have always an antithesis to every statement in this world. So coming to this very statement, when the topic is saying that the empires of the future will be governed by the empires of mind, but here you can talk about an antithesis that it is not realistic to believe that always the empires of the mind will replace the traditional forms of power, dominance entirely. It is not true that the empires of the mind will completely or entirely replace the traditional sources of power, the traditional forms of power and dominance. So we'll explore the other factors here. We'll explore the ethical dimension over here, right? Then you will come to the way forward. So as to say that what should be the way ahead, how we should be moving forward with this idea, the importance of right mindset in building the empire. Okay, so let's explore one by one. Coming to the introduction part of the essay. Yes, you will have to think about a very impressive way of making an introduction. Anecdote has been used by various toppers, and that is the most safe way of making any introduction. Okay, I have taken the character Meera over here, a fictional character who in a small village was always dreaming of becoming an astronaut. Her peers were spending their days playing while she was immersing herself in various books about the space, physics, and cosmos. Right? So you can take a fictional story, a fictional character over here. It's not necessary that you always start with a story which is well established. You can have your own story, but the main point over here is that you will have to justify the theme of the essay completely over here. Okay, then moving ahead with the story, when the village faced a natural disaster, suddenly it was Meera's knowledge and quick thinking of her that saved number of lives there. So with her understanding of geography, weather pattern, she guided her community to safety. So this incident exemplifies the power of mind can shape not just the individual destinies, but also the fate of the entire community. So this is how you have to justify the theme of the essay towards the end of the anecdote. You will write the anecdote, you will say the story. Again, your duty is to justify that anecdote in the theme of the essay. This is your thesis. Again, moving forward with your thesis, that means your understanding on the topic. You can say that how we have moved further into the 21st century. We have seen a lot of changes and the traditional notions of power and success are evolving. Okay, and in this world which is increasingly driven by the innovation and technology, that is the mind, the future will belong to those who harness the potential of their minds. So this is how you will talk something about the topic again after justifying the anecdote. Okay, then we come to the first dimension of the essay, that why this shift in the nature of power has occurred in the first place. You'll talk of various reasons over here. First, you can talk of the information age. We are living in an age where information is power. Countries with strong educational institutions, research institutions, technological advancements, they are bound to have a significant advantage over the other nations. Then you can also talk of the global interconnectedness which we are seeing in the recent decades. And in the globalized world where borders are becoming less relevant, and therefore the ideas, the information, the technology are spreading very fast across the globe. You can also talk of the soft power, the intellectual and cultural influence for that matter. Okay, that can be more important, that can be as important, in fact we can say as important as the military might of a nation in shaping the global affairs. So because of these reasons we are seeing this shift in the nature of power, because of the information age, because of the global interconnectedness, globalization, because of the soft power, and because of the technological innovation advancements. We can talk of the AI, we can talk of the biotechnology, we can talk of the renewable energy for that matter, and that is becoming crucial for shaping some nations' economic power. So these are some of the reasons you can quote to explain the shift in the nature of power. Then we come to the how aspect. Here also you'll be placing your arguments together with examples. Okay, you can talk of the Finland over here as an example, how it has invested a lot of money and lot of resources in education, resulting in highly skilled workforce that is boosting their economic growth. So here knowledge is becoming the primary source which is driving the power of a nation. Okay, you can also talk of the various innovation hubs, the future power structures that will emerge from the innovation ecosystems. You can say that how intellectual capital can drive the economic success of a nation. You can talk of the Silicon Valley, where the giants, the technological giants like Google, Amazon, okay, Apple, they are thriving, and how these ideas which are emerging from the technological or the intellectual mindset that can create vast wealth and supranational influence. Okay, you can talk of the countries like South Korea, how it has transformed into a tech powerhouse by only prioritizing its R&D. You can talk of the companies like Samsung, LG, how it has dominated the global markets. Okay, so this is how you can create your arguments and examples around the knowledge economy, around the innovation, around the digital connectivity, around the soft power, cultural influence, how it is shaping the perceptions and ideologies, how it is traveling across the world. You can talk of the Hollywood, K-pop, Bollywood culture, how the cultural exports, they can enhance a national stature. You can also talk of the yoga and Ayurveda, how it has attracted millions of people towards it. Again, you can also talk of some of the sustainable solutions. how our intellectual effort towards any problem, towards any challenge of the society, okay, that can bring sustainability of the future. You can talk of the Paris Agreement, how it reflects our intellectual effort to tackle the environmental challenge. So we are talking of the collaboration over here, the importance of collaboration rather than showing our military might. Okay, then you can talk of the companies like Tesla, how it is pioneering the technological or the sustainable technologies, how it is showing that how the environmental consciousness will be paired with the technological innovation, and that can reshape the future empires. You can talk of the rise of internet again, the social media in this borderless world that has made the world borderless. You can talk of that how Twitter. So here it's very important for you to understand, for every argument you're making, this is the part of argument, this side is the part of argument. For every argument you're making, you should be giving one specific example to justify your argument. Very, very important. Why will the examiner believe you? Unless and until you are having something to prove your argument. So it's very necessary that you place one specific example for each and every argument you're making. I have tried to do that. Okay, so you can add your own examples also. So here, coming to the digital connectivity, coming to the rise of internet and social media, and how it has attributed to the rapid information exchange, how it has made the world borderless. You can talk of the Twitter, now X, how it has empowered the grassroots movements, as seen in the case of Arab Spring, and how ideas can mobilize people can be very much seen from the rise of internet and social media. Okay, then you can talk of Elon Musk also over here, how his ideas, his innovation has demonstrated that the ideas and intellect can reshape the traditionally state controlled dominance, how it has, like how Elon Musk has dominated the area of space. It has reshaped the traditionally state controlled domain, that is the space, right? Then we can also talk of some examples which is saying about the control of information, and that control of information can shape the global narratives. You can talk of the WikiLeaks that exposed the classified government data, altering the total power dynamics worldwide. Okay, and how access to knowledge can actually challenge even the powerful governments. This is how the information, the technological advancements over any platform, okay, or your intellectual capabilities can challenge even the powerful governments, the control of information. Okay, then you can talk of Israel also in the context of that being the global leader in the startup ecosystem. Okay, a small nation for that matter can wield significant influence through innovation rather than territory. So Israel being the classic example over there. Okay, so we are done with the core dimension of the essay. We are done with examples and arguments for that thesis part of the essay, that means going in favor of the essay. Here you will come to the antithesis part. Antithesis may, as we have discussed, you will explore that it is not only that the mind is governing the future, there are other factors also. Is that mind will completely replace the traditional forms of power? No, that is not going to happen. We'll see through various arguments and examples. Today we see that how the physical power is still relevant, how some countries like US and China, they're more concerned about allocating their maximum expenditure to defense. So here, while the intellectual power is growing, but together with that, the traditional military power also still remains influential. So there is a coexistence of both knowledge and physical power. You can talk of the US and China over here, how it has dominated, yes, in intellectual field, but it has vast military power, it has vast military resources as well. Then you can talk of the physical resources, how they are also controlling the future. You can talk of Saudi Arabia, that despite technological advancements, various countries like Saudi Arabia, it has wielded the global influence through the control of oil only. Okay, more through the control of oil. So it is showing that how the territorial and resource based power will continue to play a role in defining the future, in reshaping the future. You can talk in that context also the examples of US shale gas economy. You can talk of that how China is dominating in the area of rare earth metals and how it is governing the future. So you can talk of the physical resources over here. So first is that yes, there has been a coexistence of both the intellectual capabilities and the military might. We are still taking care of the military strength of a nation. Second is that other factors like physical resources can also define the future. Okay, other factors may economic power can also come. You can talk of China, how through its debt diplomacy it is trying to control the empires of the future. You can talk of the traditional forms of power of territorial control, how it is still significant in the global conflicts. You can talk of the ongoing wars like Russia Ukraine war, Israel Palestine war. From that we see that how the territorial control, the traditional power structures which is based on territorial control, military conquest, it is still there today also. Okay, the borders, the physical control still remains a key to many of the nations. So this empire of the mind has not completely replaced the traditional forms of power. Again, you can also talk of that when we are saying that the empires of the mind will govern the empires of the future, then we have to be very careful about the value that is guiding the mind. It should not be like the mind which is governing the future. It should be for the destruction of the future. That means we are talking of those minds which are for working for the destruction of the future, like Oppenheimer, a classic example. How he used his mind, how he innovated something which is for the destruction of the society. So that should not be the case. Again, you will talk about the right mind over here, which should be guided by values, which should be for the betterment of the society. So this is how you will give one ethical perspective to your essay, and this is how you will move forward to the way forward of the essay. Okay, in the way forward, yes, you will talk about the value aspect. Since there is a counter argument that every mind is not going to govern the future, right? The mind which is only guided by values which is for the betterment of the society, that mind, yes, can govern the future. So as the technological and intellectual capabilities are becoming more powerful, it is important to consider the ethical implications of their use also. Individuals should always strive to use their skills responsibly, use their skills for the betterment of the society, and those can be guided by empathy, justice, kindness. That will again differentiate from dictatorship and the active participative democracy, isn't it? So empathy, justice, kindness, that will only differentiate between the dictatorship and the active participative democracy. So here we should be mindful that how we are using our mind, how we are using our skills. Is it responsibly or in a irresponsible manner which is creating destruction in the society? So this aspect needs to be discussed over here. This is how you can bring a value perspective and ethical perspective to your essay. You can talk of more way forward that how we should be enhancing our mindset, our intellectual capabilities by investing in education, by going through a lifelong learning. Okay, then you can talk of the problem solving mindset which we should be exercising. That is very essential for navigating any complex challenges of the society and adapting to the really rapidly changing world. Then lastly, you can talk of the international cooperation, how collaboration and cooperation can actually help address the global challenges. You can talk in the context of climate change. And this collaborative mind makes it better for human empire and a bigger empire for the life on the earth. Okay, so now you're clear that how you will move ahead with a logical flow in the essay. In the counter argument, you talked of something very important concerning the ethics of the society and how that ethics of the society needs to be taken care of. That you're talking in the way forward. Understood? Then you will come to the conclusion part. You will refer back to the introduction. This is your first, this is among the first, like there are some important elements of the conclusion. Okay, first thing that you have to refer back to the introduction from where you started. Then you have to give your final take on the essay. Then you can end with a quotation that will enrich your essay. Okay, so for connecting back to the introduction, you can again go back to the fictional character which you generated, that is Meera. Meera's journey from a small village to becoming a savior through her knowledge reflects a broader truth about the future of power. As the world moves forward, it becomes increasingly clear that the empires of the mind will shape the direction of the human civilization. Intellectual mastery, creativity, technological innovation are set to redefine the ways nations and individuals exert influence. Yes, we agree that the minds, the intellectual mastery, the creativity, the innovation, that is only going to redefine the individuals and the nation's future. But together with that, we have to be mindful of the other factors also. So this shift which is occurring towards the intellectual mindset, towards the creativity, does not imply the complete disappearance of the traditional forms of power. That you have to mention in the conclusion part. This is your final take after giving your antithesis. Antithesis में आपने discuss किया, you discuss that how the traditional forms of power are still relevant. So here you will also mention that complete disappearance of traditional forms of power, we cannot expect that to happen. Instead, we should be appreciative of the fact that there is a interconnectedness, there is an interdependence, there is a complex interdependence where the physical might and intellectual strength, they coexist, they reinforce each other. So the future will belong to those who actually are mindful of other factors, who apply their ideas in a constructive way for the betterment of the society. So this is your final take of the essay. Then you will again refer back to the introduction, okay, to come to the quotation. Like Meera, the leaders of tomorrow, you will talk of some futuristic aspect. Leaders of tomorrow will be those who understand that the mind is the most powerful tool capable of transforming dreams into reality and shaping the world in an unprecedented way. As our old adage goes, the pen is mightier than the sword. So this is one of the way of conclusion you can make to your essay after giving a lot of arguments and examples for the topic, against the topic. Okay, so this is how you will go forward with this essay topic. These are some of the relevant quotes. Again, you can add to your note making. Again, very, very important. The PYQs are still dominant in your essay preparation. Many essays have been already asked, which is based on your intellectual capability in the recent years only. And these quotations can actually help you to address those essays. You should be ideally using 3-4 quotations all through your essay. And please keep note of these relevant quotations and add a value to your notes. Okay, thank you so much and stay tuned for the next discussion soon.